Hey you guys, I'm back. So this morning I did a poll and I did it on my IG and my Twitter. If you're new to my channel and you're new to my videos, please take a second to first subscribe to my channel, click that red button, make sure you click on my notifications because your girl's always going live. And on top of that, I usually have content, multiple videos a week. Okay, and also make sure to follow me. I'll put this in the description, but at my socials, Melody Rain, is the same on everything. So my Twitter and IG, so you get a chance to vote on what I'm going to be doing my lives about, my story times, and my get ready with me topics and all of that stuff. All right, needless to say, I'm just going to hop back into it. Needless to say, what was picked today was I moved to Atlanta with no money. So I'm just gonna hop right into it. So I think I was 19. I had to be, I think I was about 19 going on 20, or I was like 20. And I decided that I wanted to move to Atlanta. Previously, I had when I was going to go to college, I went and I applied to Clark Atlanta. I actually went to the what is it called, orientations and all of that stuff, and I stayed in the dorms, all that. I was ready to go, super excited about life, thought that was how I was going to get there and all that different stuff. And really, honestly, it's a whole nother story time about why I ended up not going to Clark Atlanta, and really not really, I went to college, but I didn't stay long, gratefully, just because I feel like my life is just so much more authentic. I feel like I was able to find the path that I was supposed to be on personally because I didn't go to college. But anyway, so yes, I'm about 19, 20 years old. I decide I'm moving to Atlanta. And my friend Makita, me and my friend Makita had decided that we were going to move together. So at this time, I was living in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born and raised for the majority of my life. And I had recently reconnected with my friend Makita, as I said, and she was actually in Chicago at the time, because I actually met her in San Diego, but that's a whole nother story. I have a whole life story. I've lived a lot of places. So I met her in middle school, but this is my best friend. We're still good friends to this day. She's in a lot of my stories. So she was in Chicago, and before we decided to move, I actually drove up to go and see her, because I'm like, wow, I haven't seen her in a long time. I hadn't seen her since I had moved, actually. So I was like, I'm gonna go see her. I went to her house and we had like a whole powwow. We caught up, all this different stuff. My friend Makita, she's always down for like whatever. Like, that's why we have been such good friends, because I feel like I'm a very spontaneous person. She is too. She's like with the shit. So I told her, like, bro, I'm about to move to Atlanta. I'm super excited. And she was just like, oh, well, I'm coming too, basically. Like, I can't even remember what the exact conversation was, but we decided that we were going to go. And we literally, like, came up with a date. I think it was, like, maybe a month out. Yeah, it was, like, a month out. And we both needed to go. We decided, like, that's it. We're going. And what also motivated me to feel like everything's going to be good was one of my other friends. I'm actually going to start giving fake names just to protect privacy, even though it's not nothing serious. So I'm going to call him Bob. So Bob was one of my close friends who went to high school with me in Indiana. He had actually just moved to Atlanta. So I was like, cool, like we could just all link up. You know, it sounded like it made so much sense. I'm like, cool, it's going to be easy. My friend is already out there, so we can just meet him. I told him that we're coming. Bam. So the day comes, and my friend Makita, she drives to Indiana first in her car. She packs up all her shit. She meets me at home, at my grandma's house. So she comes. I have all my shit packed up. Everything is pretty much handled that I needed to handle, and everything is there. My mind's made up, like literally, like I'm with all the shit, like I'm ready to go. And she pulls up, and there's this whole guy with her that we didn't talk about. I'm like, who is this guy? We're gonna call him Steve. She pulls up with Steve, and I'm like, okay, like that's not as planned, but cool or whatever. They're gonna take turns driving. All good, whatever. And then it was cool too because then we would get to ride together, like on like ride stops or whatever. We could switch and like she could come ride with me. He'll drive her car. So it actually fucking worked out perfectly. We get in the car. We're all pumped up. We're ready to go, like high on life. And we're about to take off. So if you don't know, it's about an 8-hour drive from Indiana to Atlanta. And we go there. I think she said, recently we talked about it because we still laugh about it all the time to this day. She said she had about $700, $800. She had $700, $800. I think at max I had about $200. $200, maybe $300, but like $200. And that's like $20 for real, especially when you're going somewhere and you don't really have any type of plans to where you're gonna live. We're on faith. Like that's what my whole argument was. Like, we're gonna get down there, you know, we're gonna get jobs, like this is what we're supposed to be doing, like on some manifest destiny type shit. This is what we're supposed to be doing, so we're gonna be good. Like, I know we're gonna be good. All this different stuff. None of us have jobs. Like, none of us, not even my friend Bob, who's already in Atlanta, he doesn't even have a job. He's like I guess he was staying in some hotel or some shit like that. So our plan was to go meet him. We hop in the car. We're driving to Atlanta. We finally get there, you know, after switching cars and stuff like that and hanging out with each other on the way, laughing, giggling, thinking life is all good. We get there. We pull up to where his hotel is. I think he was in Cobb County. Cobb County is where it all fucking started, which really just is not the spot for real, but hey, that's where we was at. And let me see. So basically we got there, right? We got there that night. It was super late when we got there. We meet up with Bob. Bob welcomes us and we're staying in his hotel. I don't know how much money Bob had, but I'm assuming it wasn't a lot. But so now it's 4 of us. We're all together, and I think the hotel that we started in, it had 2 beds, 2 queen or king size beds. I think it was queen. So we just had to make it work. I was sleeping with Bob, like we shared a bed, or no, I think it was me and Makita. Yeah, me and Makita shared a bed, and I think I slept with Bob and Makita slept with Azar. Not on like no weird shit. It wasn't like no weird shit. It wasn't like boyfriend, girlfriend type shit. It was none of that. Cobb County ain't the move, right? Exactly. It really is not the fucking move. It's not where you want to fucking be. But anyway, where am I? So we're in the hotel, whatever, and that's our sleeping arrangement. I've been knowing Bob for a long ass time. Like, that's one of my best friends. It's all good. Oh, let me tell you guys why we're moving. I'm moving to Atlanta because I do music. Because I feel like that makes it all make sense. Like, it's like, why are they just moving to Atlanta? If you don't know me, I make music. I'm an artist. And from the time that I was little, to me, Atlanta has just always been it. Like, yeah, Atlanta has always been it. Like, you know, all my favorite music coming up was coming out of Atlanta. Like, I fucking love Sierra. I was like, yes, I need to be there. All of the fucking stars are there, and I am one of them. And I'm going to Atlanta because that was just my logic. Like, I really didn't need too much extra logic at that point. I was just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where I need to be. I know that where I'm at, there are not a lot of opportunities, and that's the main thing. I felt like Atlanta was the easiest, closest place for me to go besides maybe Chicago. But even Chicago is fucking dangerous as shit. So I was like, no. And it just wasn't the spot. I knew where I wanted to be. Atlanta was it. Anyway, back to where I was saying. So we all show up to the hotel. We have our first night's sleep. We wake up and we all have our shit. We're unpacking or whatever. I don't remember how long it was that we stayed in that hotel. I think maybe at the longest it was a week, but it probably wasn't even that long. Like, we were there for a couple of days. We wake up, we're high off life. Like, all of us have cars besides Steve. Steve doesn't have a car. Steve is the one who came with Makita. So we gas up or whatever. Sometimes we would all take the same car. I think for the most part, we did. Yeah, we would take the same car. One of us drove, and we would drive to the city. I think the first place that we drove was the mall. Some mall or something. Somewhere where we could all fucking walk around and try to get jobs. We're walking around. We're out here. We have on our Sunday best, whatever, thinking we're about to get jobs. We're going from place to place, application after application after application. Needless to say, after a while, I think I'm just gonna skip, because if I tell this story like step by step, it's gonna take forever, and I don't want this to be super long. But I would say I don't think anybody got a job. Like I think after like a month's time, we have been there for like a month, and nobody had a job. Like, so needless to say, I know I didn't have money. I didn't have money like that. Makita, she had money, so it was just like we were all banding together. So it's like whatever we had, like we was like pitching in together to try to keep us in different hotels, different situations. So this is crazy. So at this point, the desperation is kind of kicking in. Niggas need pep talks because people are like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Keep in mind, we're fresh out of high school, so it's not like we're experienced adults and we like know what the fuck is going on. Nobody has no type of real living arrangements for shit. Like, just tensions are high. It's like the real world. Like, it was like the real world. Like, people was getting in arguments. You know, people are stressed the fuck out. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. So when I moved there, I actually already had another connection through Chicago. My first manager, shout out to him. I'm gonna call him Aaron. Shout out to Aaron because, bro, like, he looked out for me heavy. So I called Aaron. He said, well, we had talked about him being my manager before I had moved to Atlanta, because he was talking about how he's about to move to Atlanta and he was possibly about to do like an artist house situation where he was going to house all of us. Well, at least me, which was just a whole nother weird ass dynamic. At least me, because I was an artist and he was gonna be my manager, but he was like looking out for a lot of us because they were like my friends, you know? So some of the time, like, he was helping us with hotels. He was spending money, spending bread to put us in hotels. Crazy, just crazy. And I mean, Aaron had linked me with Black. I can talk about Black now. Aaron linked me with Black, which was like the first producer that I started working with in Atlanta. Rest in peace, rest in heaven, rest in power to Black. I know he's still here with me. He was the real GOAT for real. Shout out to Capricorns. So yes, I met Black, and Black was also helping and contributing to like trying to keep us afloat or whatever. But needless to say, after a while, like, without going into too much detail, because I feel like when my friend Makita comes, she's gonna come visit me. When she comes, we're gonna do a part 2, and we're gonna like just tell you like the intricate situations and the intricate stories that went on, because there's so many stories within the story that I feel like I would never be able to finish this alive if I just went into every single thing. But needless to say, we ended up having to split up. Like, it was crazy. Like, Makita, she ended up getting a boyfriend, so she had went to that situation. And she was living with somebody else. Steve ended up having to go home. Like, I think Makita had to drive back to Chicago, and she had to like get some paperwork done or something like that. And he drove with her. Like, you know, none of us was really close with Steve like that. So it's just like, me and Bob was like, hey, you kind of got to go with her, you know, when you going back up. And she had to leave him back. So it's survival of the fittest at this point. Like, people are dropping like flies. And when I tell you, like, it was literally like, your survival mode had to fucking kick in. It was so crazy. Niggas was hungry. Like, I know, I'm so bad with the aliens. Niggas is hungry. When I tell you, we had like moments where it was just like, after Kita did her own thing, like she had found her own situation, like it was me and Bob. It was like back and forth. Like, sometimes we would have money for hotels. When we had money for hotels and we had like somebody to get us a hotel, we would stay in hotels. But sometimes, like, literally, like, we would be kicking it in the car. Yes, surviving ATL. We would kick it in the car, and me and Bob were already like really good friends. So it's just like, yes, like we would link up with Kita and stuff like that, and we would like connect and stuff still, because we all came together, and you know, we gotta make sure our girl is good and all that. But me and Bob, like, we went through the thick of the thick together. So we was sleeping in cars. We was sleeping in his car, like sleeping. I remember sometime, like when it hit the winter time, it would be so fucking cold, and we would keep on the heat until he had to turn off the car type shit. Like we would get it as hot as we could, bundle up, like let the seats back and go to sleep. Like it was some real ass shit. Like it was real. Like niggas was homeless in ATL. Anyways, but I was so determined to stay because I'm just the type of person where I'm just like, I don't care how hard it gets. If I want to do something, I'm about to stick this shit out and I'm about to make this shit work. But anyways, so we would be doing that, and we would, like, during the day, sometimes we would have to, like, get washed up and stuff, go to, like, stores like Target and stuff to brush our teeth. So we would wake up after the night, we would find, like, some place. Our main spot was, like, by Guitar Center, because during the day, you know, to keep us inspired and stuff, we would go to Guitar Center. I would play the guitar and Bob would play the keys. Like he's a good keyboard player. He plays a lot of instruments, but keys was his shit. Guitar was mine. So like we're like sharpening up our skills. We spent so much time at Guitar Center. Like I still know people from that Guitar Center. Actually, one person who used to work there, he lives in LA now, and I've like linked up with him since, and it's just so crazy, but just crazy. So bottom line, the struggle is real. The struggle is fucking real. So, let me see. So, after that, I had ended up... This is crazy. So, I ended up, through Black, meeting, like, the other artist that Aaron was managing. So, Aaron is managing this other artist. His name is Josh. So Josh is the other artist that is being managed by Aaron as well, and I met him through Black too, because like sometimes I would see him. Like Black had a studio in his house, so I would be over Black's house sometimes, and like we would just kick it there, make music and stuff. In the meantime, in the midst of the struggle, still had to keep shit going, and we're creating all this time. If you go way back, I put out a project called Mixed Reviews, and that was the project that I was working on when I was working with Black, like back in the day, back when I first moved to ATL. That was like my first project. It's probably still on that Piff if you want to listen to it. And yeah, so we're there. I ended up meeting, what the fuck did I just say his name was? Help me out. His name is Josh. Okay, so I meet Josh and Junebug, right? I meet Josh, and Josh's mom is really close with Aaron, our manager. So basically, Aaron, as I told you, he was looking out for me. He was making sure I'm good. Aaron ended up hitting up Josh's mom, because we're both young at this point, and asked, like, hey, my artist is out there, da-da-da, basically explain the situation. She going through a hard time. Actually, I'm fucking lying. I can't remember whether I stayed with Tia first or whether I stayed with... I'm lying. So Aaron is close to... So just keep him in the cut. Just keep Josh in the cut. Just know, like, you know... Met Josh, boom. Sorry, this might be confusing because it's like I'm off the cuff right now. So originally I was trying my best to make sure me and Bob could stay together, because it's just like, that's my nigga. I can't be out here just living my best life and then just be like, see you later, Bob. Like, I know we came here together, but I don't know what the fuck you gonna do. So I'm fighting hard. I'm talking to Aaron because he's at this point, he's still helping us, putting us in hotels and all this, and he's just like, you know, that obviously isn't going to last forever. He knew that we was out there. We didn't have no real plan for real. And he was just trying to look out. He knew Tia. I ain't gonna, yeah, fuck it. Her name Tia. He linked up with Tia and called her or whatever, because she was supposed to be doing artist development. That's a whole nother fucking story. That's another story time that we gonna get into on another date. Tia had a big ass house. She has a lot of kids and shit, and it was just space there, and she was doing artist development, as I said. So he talked to her and basically made an agreement with her for me to be able to go and stay with her, go and stay with Tia's house. And while I was there waiting for Aaron to come down, because he was still in Chicago at the time and he was still planning to move. So he was like, yeah, you can stay with her until like I move down there, make these moves, and I get this house or whatever. or, you know, basically until you get on your feet, like, stay with Tia. Tia's good peoples. I know Tia, and she said that you could come, and she heard your voice and all this different stuff, and she feels like, you know, she wants to be a part of the story, whatever, she wants to help contribute. Bam. So I'm like, look at this blessing. Look at God. Like, God is great. Yes, like, I have a place to stay, and then of course, like, I have to fight. I'm just like, no, like, but if I go, please, please, please let Bob be able to come too, because Bob is really like my right hand man. Like, I really don't feel comfortable leaving him, you know. That's not what's up. And so this happens, and she talks to her, and he's like, she agrees. She says, cool. So we move in. We both move in, and it's crazy. Shit is wild at the time. We're young, wild and free. Like I mentioned, Tia has kids as well, and they're like our age. So I think at the time when we first went in there, it was like 2 girls. I'm not even going to mention their names, but 2 girls that are about our age, and then she has 2 younger kids that are staying there too. Big ass fucking house. Cool. We had a place to stay. All was well. We're like, okay, we're going to keep on trying to get jobs, and everything will pan out. We move in there, and that only lasted, it seemed like so much longer, because I feel like we were getting fucked up all the time. We were drinking, smoking. It was like a big ass party house, because just like all of us were young. We were laughing, giggling, smoking weed, drinking, getting drunk, you know, going to functions together. It was fucking wild. And then, okay, so let me tell you. So we went from Cobb County, and now we're staying in fucking, what is it called? Damn, I can't even fucking think about it, but it's fucking far as shit from the city. It's far as fuck. It's not Stone. I'll look it up later. But far as fuck from where we are. I can't even remember where the fuck it was. Stonecrest or something. I don't know. That's not even it. But it's fucking far. And we're staying with them at their house. And we're just driving like closer to the city, trying to get jobs and things like that. And that only lasted, I think, like I said, it seemed like longer, but I think maybe accurately it was about a month before shit started to hit the fan. So looking back on it, like, I could totally understand Tia's point of view, because it's just like, she has a lot of shit going on. Clearly she already has 4 kids staying with her. Then on top of that, like, us coming. But it was just, like I said, I'm not even gonna get into the artist development situation, because that was just a whole nother beast in itself. But just the living arrangements were there. Then it starts to become a problem, and I feel like, no, not Lithonia. It's like, I think it starts with the S. It's not Stone. I think it's close to Conyers. It's close to Conyers, but it's not Conyers. I think it even starts with the S. It was right there on my tongue, but I just can't even remember what the fuck area it was. But it's far, and it's a lot of big houses out there and shit. Maybe it started with the A. I don't know. I'm gonna be stuck on that, thinking about that forever. But shit started getting shaky at that house, because it's like, I feel like Aaron had promised maybe some money or something to Tia. We still to this day don't really know what the fuck the problem was, but she started pressing us for rent. She started pressing us for rent, but we could not find jobs. So it's just like, that shit got shaky real fucking quick, and it was just drama. It was drama going on. I think I had got kicked out of the house for something. No, it's not Stone Mountain. I had got kicked out of the house. I got kicked out of the house for something. Probably some stupid ass drama ass reason. Tia kicked me out. So then Bob was still fucking at the house. Like, Alpharetta. No, it wasn't Alpharetta either. I'm gonna look it up. But it wasn't even Bob was still in the fucking house. It was just some crazy shit. And I'm just like, damn, Bob, like, I fucking risk not being able to have a place to fucking stay to get you in with me. But then you see, I get kicked out, and then, like, literally, like, I'm out, like, sleeping in the car by myself type shit. Crazy fucking times. But then something happened, and they told me to come back. I ended up coming back, and I think that only lasted for, what, like, another fucking 2 weeks before we both, yes, real world, before it got even crazier. Because, okay, so I move out there. As I told you, I get Bob in the house, right? So it's me and Bob trying to make shit happen. Bob goes and invites a whole nother fucking person, like is on the phone with somebody that we know from home. And I'm not even gonna say his name either because he's like an extra in the story. But my friend Bob sent him here talking to somebody else and telling them about the situation, like, yeah, we're doing artist development, gassing it up or whatever, because at the time it seemed like it was really on some real shit. So he's like gassing it up, and then he invites his friend to come to Atlanta, who is an opportunist, and decides that he wants to wiggle his way. He comes over to visit. I kid you not. He comes over to visit and literally like gives his whole sob story, and then tries to move in the house too. And I feel like this is what fucking brought everything to a fucking crumble. He comes and with his sob story, opportunist ass, thinks that we got something major going on and he's trying to get his situation on. He's an actor. So he comes and he decides that he's gonna come, and then he's fucking drama. Like, he's drama. Shit really went to shit from there. Like, it really was like a whole reality show. I kid you not. So then that was the whole situation. Me and Bob actually ended up getting kicked out of the house, and then the extra dude was staying at Tia's house. So this just gives you a context of how fucking crazy this shit was. Then, so I'm just gonna move on past that since I'm not gonna elaborate on what happened in the artist situation. So then, from there, me and Bob was kicking it again, trying to make it together, you know, two is better than one, sharing fucking chicken nuggets and shit on some broke ass shit. Then, well, I'll take you back to Josh. So the situation with Tia didn't work out. I told Aaron, like, this is not it, period. Like, can't stay with her. Bad situation, drama, violence. This is a whole nother fucking story. I fucking got my car. Okay, I'm not gonna well, no, fuck it. It's old. They fucked up my car. Like, one of the girls that was our age, she thought that, well, actually her boyfriend fucking liked me, but I guess she thought that I was trying to talk to him on some stupid ass shit, and she broke my car window, broke my mirrors, ripped off my windshields. And keep in mind, this is a car that I had and I still had car payments on it. It was a Honda. She came, fucked that shit up, tried to fight me, maced me at that, tried to fucking mace me and fight me. It was fucking crazy. So bottom line, Tia's house was not a fucking option. And this is crazy because this is after we already moved out. I was trying to avoid the drama because I didn't want to be a part of that shit. I didn't fuck with her boyfriend at all. He was fucking crazy. I moved out and they found us. Like, the dude, the informant ass dude, the actor that came from where we came from, the clout chasing ass nigga, he was still staying with her. And basically Bob was fucking communicating with this dude, and he basically gave our whereabouts while we're sleeping in a car. While we're sleeping in our cars, side by side, somewhere completely different. We're in North Druid Hills at this point. We're in North Druid Hills, and I'm gonna just get slightly into the story, but this is a whole nother story time. So basically, they pull up on us where we're sleeping, North Druid Hills, in this apartment complex, and he fucking they pull up on us at night. We're dead sleep at this point. Like, we're asleep, and they come knocking on the doors, and the girl who didn't like me because she thought that I wanted her boyfriend, which I fucking did not, knocking on my window talking about some, bitch, you want my man, or some stupid ass ratchet ass shit. You want my man, da da da. What was that shit you talking, blah blah. And keep in mind, the shit that they say that I'm talking is me basically saying that I don't want to fucking be there anymore because it was some fucking crazy ass shit going on in that house. And she starts banging on my door. I think my window was cracked because it gets real fucking humid in the summer in Atlanta, and you know, you need a little breeze going on. Me and Bob's car is like this, side by side. So they pull up on my side. They get out. Tia goes to Bob's car, and then the other girl, she comes to my car, and she's like pulling on my fucking window. So then she starts pulling it down. She starts pulling down my window, and then she's reaching in there so she could unlock my car door. And at this point, I'm in complete shock. Keep in mind, I'm waking up out of complete REM sleep, like thinking that this shit is a dream, really, because I'm like, what the fuck? She's doing that on the other side. Tia banging on Bob's door, like on some crazy ass, like they trying to murder us type shit. He pulls off. He wakes up. He finds his keys. I couldn't find my keys. That's why I didn't fucking leave. Which was another fucked up shit. Like, Bob left me once again. Bob fucking left me. Fucking MIA. And he gets in his car because he's like, but honestly, it was a good thing because if he would have fucked up, if they would have fucked up his car too, we wouldn't have had a car to fucking move to after the shit was fucked and everything was said and done. But they went on a high-speed chase. So when Bob pulls out, he almost hits Tia, which I wish he would have ran her ass over because she's fucking psycho. But he pulls out and he goes and he's like, they're talking a little bit, like she's talking back and forth, but he pulls off. Tia gets in the car like a fucking maniac, a fucking truck, pulls off, and they had a whole high-speed chase on North Druid Hills. I will never forget that street name because it was that fucking real. North Druid Hills. So they're going, and basically his story is he ended up pulling into a parking lot because he's like driving fast as fuck. Somebody's parking lot, and there's like a lot of trees on that main street. So if he pulled and she was farther behind, he saw her pass him. This is like early in the morning. Crazy ass story. Just don't be broke moving places. Have a plan is the moral of all of this, but I'm just gonna keep telling the story. So then I'm stuck with girl. She's trying to fight me, all this different stuff. So she unlocks my door, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna have to fucking fight this bitch. So I'm getting out, and we're about to go at it. She fucking sprays me with mace. Yes, fucking wow, right? She sprays me with mace. I can't remember whether she really hit me or not. I just know like there was a bit of a struggle happening, but I feel like people were waking up and like calling the police and shit. So she left, like, but at this time, like at first I was off pure adrenaline, so I felt the mace in my eyes, but I could still see because I had to fucking see this bitch is about to try to whoop my ass while she's fucking spraying me with mace. So needless to say, it was crazy. Like, she had broke my car window or whatever, and then she started running. I don't know if she called her peoples or whatever. She started going somewhere, probably so she could let her mom know to pick her up. Yes, this is her mom, by the way. Fucking crazy ass people. So at this point, like, I think the dust settled. I get in my car because I'm still trying to process this whole situation. I get in my car and then I start driving it away because I'm like, should I chase this bitch? Like, should I chase her? Like, I don't fucking know what to do. I don't know what to do in this situation. Like, I don't have a fucking clue what to do. So I get in the car and I started to chase after her in the car, but then I was just like, fuck it. Like, I can't handle this shit right now. Like, stress. The definition of a hot fucking mess was me that night. So I ended up pulling up, but then I seen the ambulance coming this way. It was like an ambulance and the police started coming our way. And that's when Chris showed back up. So actually, no, Chris showed up before the ambulance came because he came back and then he's telling me the story about the whole high-speed chase. We're sitting on the curb together after I fucking like drove my car because he came back for me. We're sitting on the curb together and we both just fucking start bawling. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're on some what the fuck type shit. Just pure shock. When I tell you shock. Like, shook, actually. Fucking shook. So crazy ass. So we're sitting there bawling, and then I'm fucking crying now because the fucking mace is kicking in and I can't fucking see. My eyes are burning and I am a complete mess. And keep in mind, I didn't even call my parents. I didn't even call my parents and tell them that this shit happened to me because I felt like if I told them, they would be trying to tell me like, you need to come back home, why are you doing this type shit. So all this stress, I just fucking kept it to myself, and I'm just like, we just gonna have to fucking keep it moving. And yeah, basically after that, we sat there, the ambulance came, they was like flushing my eyes with water until I could see again, and basically they were like, what do you want to do, do you want to press charges, and we had that whole conversation. They left, boom. So after that, like, I'm just like, no. In my mind, I feel like I decided, I didn't say this, but in my mind, like, nah, bro, like, I need somewhere to stay. Like, I cannot do this shit. I cannot fucking have people pulling up trying to fucking kill me or whatever psycho shit that y'all are on. I can't be on that. So I told Aaron about what happened and what Tia did, and he's just like in shock too, obviously, because who thinks that some shit like this is gonna happen? Nobody. And they had their own story as to why they did that, but honestly, there's no fucking excuse for that shit. ever. Like, to me, you're just fucking crazy and you need medication. After that, I'm like, cool. I told him, like, I need somewhere to stay. After that, he ended up talking to Josh. We're back at Josh. He told Josh's mom, because they were really close, he told her what happened and was just like, I need, yes. Okay, no problem. This will be it. So he told her, like, I needed some place to stay. So they took me in, right? I ended up staying with Josh, and Josh ended up becoming somebody. We're not even going to get into that, but I was staying with Josh. After I stayed with Josh, that lasted for maybe a few months. I feel like I was there for a while. Like, that was a very nice, stable situation. I ended up getting a job, and yeah, I ended up getting a job, and everything was all good. You know, at this time, like, Bob was still out of a place to live, but it was just like, at that point, I had to make a decision. Like, it's either you or me. And this time, like, after seeing everything that happened to me when we were staying at Tia's and how he was making sure he was looking out for number one, I was like, it's my turn to look out for number one. I'm about to look out for myself, and I need a place to stay. I'm a woman at the end of the day. You're a man. You can figure this shit out, but I'm not about to ever put myself in a situation to where that can fucking happen to me again. So bottom line to say, that was the end of that for me. That was the end of me staying in cars and all of that. That was fucking over. And I'm staying with them. I'm staying with Josh and his mom. And after that, I ended up moving. I was a little bit more stable. Like I said, I ended up getting a job. So I was doing a little bit better. I was kind of settling into ATL. Through all of this shit, keep in mind, I'm still, like, performing. I'm going to shows. I'm making friends, you know. So it's like, I'm becoming acclimated to the city. And he was staying in Decatur. Shout out to Decatur. Decatur, where it's greater. I fuck with Decatur. I was living there at this point. Then after a while, I had ended up linking back up with my friend Keita. Remember, Keita came with me, and we had all kind of went our separate ways. I ended up staying with Keita and her boyfriend for a long ass time. I even got Bob. Bob stayed there too. So all of us ended up being back together in this apartment. And after that, I had a job then too. For some of the time, I had a job then, and I was just living there doing that. After that, I went from there, and then I lived with my friend Ryan, one of my best friends till this day. I stayed with him. Then from there, when I got my tax returns, me and him both needed to go move, because his lease was month to month, and he didn't want to stay where he was staying. That's how I ended up moving into the House of Lotus. Anybody from Atlanta in a certain period, if you were creative, you probably went to the House of Lotus. Shit was popping. Like, shout out to all my Lotus roommates. We are all doing amazing things right now, and I'm so proud of everybody. A lot of things came out of Lotus. Lotus, we all ended up moving into a house. So it was me, and it was like 3 other guys. And we all had our own rooms. It was a big ass house, creative house. We threw shows in that house. We did a lot of creative culture moving things. And at this time, I'm living in West End. So I've lived all over Atlanta. Like, I kid you not. Oh, I think I'm even missing a spot. Like, I also ended up living with my friend Hattie at one point. Like, when I tell you couch surfing was real, I lived with hella people. And sometimes it would be like a month. I lived with Black at one point. I lived on hella couches. I lived with my friend fucking Coda. I lived with him for like a couple of days. Like, I'm not even able to tell you guys that whole story, because like I said, this would end up being like a 2-hour ass fucking thing. But needless to say, I couch surfed a whole lot, like, to get on my feet. And before I ended up at the House of Lotus. House of Lotus was the last place that I lived before I moved to Los Angeles, which is where I am now. But basically, honestly, thinking back on it, House of Lotus, I ended up started really on my entrepreneurial shit, because I made edibles. So I was selling edibles at our parties. We're making money from the parties. So that's when I really started my experience with event throwing and things like that, and event curation. So that was like the lighter time of when I was there. So that's when I was like stable. But it took me about like a year and a half to get stable. Do I regret moving there with no money? No. Because it taught me so much shit, and I learned so many life lessons. I learned a lot about myself. I learned how determined I could be. I learned how like strong I was. I learned that I literally could make something out of nothing. Like I wasn't from there. I made so many friends. People knew who I was. Like I was really getting buzz in the ATL. So I don't regret moving there. But hindsight, if I knew what I knew now, like if you're watching this to be like, oh well, I don't have a lot of money, but should I do this? First of all, I would say don't base your story off of mine and what's possible for you off of what I've done, because I felt when I was young, I felt like I didn't take advantage of all of the resources that I probably could have to make it a smooth transition. But my advice, if you want to move to a state where you don't know that many people, or at least you don't have an initial couch to surf, would be try your best to land a job before you get there. Land a job before you even get there, bro. Like before you even get there, just have some type of something, or have more money. Have more money before you decide to move, because that would just have eliminated a lot of the shit that I had to go through. And also, let me see that. But honestly, I feel like all of this too is just a testament to say, like, if you want to do something, just do it. Your story is not going to be like anybody else's. There's plenty of people who have the same story and do the same type of thing, like just off of faith, just move places. It's going to work out for you. How it's going to work out, I cannot say, you know, because overall, I would say I do not regret moving to Atlanta, because I got so much out of it. I did so much for my artist career starting off. Like, I learned so much, and yes, I learned a lot of things the hard way, but those are all lessons that I needed. And I feel like till this day, if I wanted to move somewhere completely different, I would still do it. But I'm just smarter and wiser now, so I would have more of a plan ahead of time. Yeah, I would have more of a plan ahead of time, and I would definitely have more money saved, just being a wiser person. But hey, if you want to do some shit, go for it. It's a mystery, and I feel like sometimes if you're like me, sometimes it's the mystery that makes things exciting and the adventure of it all. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Let me know if you want me to do the part 2 about the artist house, or just go into more Atlanta stories, and I will get that to you. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you got some laughs out of this, or you learned something. I don't know, but this is my time. I wanted to share, and I want to connect to you guys more on a personal level, so that you guys feel like you know me more, because I feel like a lot of the content that I produce is more about like my art, and it's more just like strictly about my art, and it could be more of like a polished situation. So I feel like you guys don't really get to know me as a person, and I'm just looking forward to doing this more, and I'm looking forward to sharing myself and sharing my experiences, and hopefully it inspires you some way to follow your dreams in one way or another, and I'm just here to motivate and inspire. So yeah, that's my story time. Toodles. Tomorrow I'll probably be back with my story, my ex stole my car. So also follow me on my socials if you want to vote on these topics, because I will be definitely doing more interactive voting situations. All right, love you guys. Have an amazing Wednesday, and I'll see you later.